in both English and Spanish for our Hispanic families. We will be I'll call out names after Martha and Chris introduce themselves, so that everyone can kind of get to know who's here. If you could say your name and what grade levels your children are in, that would also be super helpful. Chris and I actually both have a son in kinder who has recently really taken over the chat function in his team's classes with various emojis and all sorts of commentary towards his teachers. And then we have a daughter who's in pre-K 3 with Miss Vanessa. So Martha, I'll pass the baton off to you.
Ms. Raimundi, do you want to?
Oh, yes, sorry.
I'm start translating now or after all the introductions?
Well, let's do it after introductions. I think that's fine. What do you guys think? Is that okay?
Yeah, do you just want to give a quick, for anyone that might be on the call, that we're about to do introductions, and then yes, we can wait.
Ok. Pues por el momento se están dando las introducciones de todas las personas que están aquí en la reunión de hoy de padres y maestros, y comenzó Fareja. Chris y Marta son los 3 fundadores de esta organización, y ellos tienen un niño en kindergarten y una nena en Peque 4. Yo soy Miss Raimundi, la School Counselor bilingual de Peque 3 hasta primer grado, y ayudo con las traducciones de la reunión. So my name is Miss Raimundi. I am the bilingual school counselor at Truesdale. I work with PK3 until 1st grade, and I participate in these meetings to translate, and also I'm part of the organization. So
thank you so much, Ms. Raimundi, especially for continuing to do this for us, because it is a priority. It's something that we want to make sure is never an afterthought, but really embedded into what we are trying to do as an FTO. So thank you repeatedly for your help.
No problem.
I am Martha Hoffman, another founding member of the FTO. My husband is not on the call because he's doing bedtime for 2 children that do not want to sleep. Cassidy is in kindergarten and has been at Truesdale for 3 years, and my youngest daughter will start next year in pre-K 3. We live a block from the school and are really grateful to be a part of the Truesdale community.
Marta es una de las cofundadoras de la organización. Ella tiene una niña que está en kindergarten y la otra niña comienza el próximo año en Peque 3. Ella vive a un bloque de la escuela y está muy contenta de ser parte de esta comunidad de Truesdale. So I'm going to stop in, translating after just the 3 organizers.
Thanks, Ms. Raimundi. I'll just say I'm Chris Taylor, Fadia's partner, and also have Elias and Zoya in school, as she introduced, but you can move past me relatively quickly. Fadia,
you want to say your
And I am the FTO board treasurer, and I'll facilitate the rest of the meeting. If Faria, you can go through the introductions, I'll drop off and come back to be sharing the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have introductions from others.
Chris es el tesorero de la organización. Eso es muy importante saberlo.
Eric, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Eric Lundgren. I'm the father of Teddy Lundgren, who's in pre-K 4 with Mr. Carswell. Hopefully our son Alex, our younger son Alex, will be going to Truesdale next year as well as a pre-K 3 student.
Great. Libby, could you go next, please?
Hi, I'm Libby Furry. My son Asher is in 4th grade. God, whatever Mr. Vaughn's grade is. I don't even know what grade he's in. 4th grade, I think. Yeah, Mr. Vaughn in 2nd grade too. He's been at Truesdale for 3 years. So thankfully, Mr. Vaughn is a little bit more on top of things than I am because he's getting a great education.
Mark, do you mind going next?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Mark Rotacco. I'm Sonny's dad. Sonny Rotacco is in pre-K 3 with Miss Perez.
Great. And then Jamie, I believe are you Mark's partner, Rotacco? Jamie Rotacco?
Yes, I'm Mark's wife and Sunny's mom.
Awesome. And then Jenny, do you mind going next?
Yeah, I am Jenny Gaynor. We have twins in pre-K 3, Elena and Thomas. They have Miss Vanessa, and we've kept them locked in cribs, and my son just fell out of his, so I've been looking upstairs a lot. I think we have to make that transition soon, but they're in pre-K 3, and glad to be here.
Awesome. And then Katie Riddle.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Lenny's mother, and Lenny is in pre-K 3 with Miss Vanessa.
Excellent. And then I think we're done all the parents. I think I got everybody. Jamie Barden. Jamie, can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry. I was just letting Zach Israel in as well. I guess he's having a hard time getting in for some reason. I just forwarded him an email. So my name is Jamie Barden. I have a daughter who is hopefully going to get to join Truesdale in the fall. So Nina is 2.5. And it was my pleasure to be the advisory neighborhood commissioner in the area up until the start of this year, and Zach Israel is taking over now for that. So it's been great to work with everybody. So I'm here to just sort of help connect the community to the FTOs. I think we're stronger working together, and I'm just so impressed with what the FTO has done in such a short period of time. So you can see it clearly from the outside of the school. And of course, the inside was already great. So thank you all for letting me be a part of this.
Thanks, Jamie. I'm going to now move to staff and admin. So I think I'm going to say, Mr. Blakeney, could you go first, please? And just could you please share your role also? I think for parents, that'll be helpful.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alfonso Blakeney. I'm the manager of strategy and logistics at Truesdale. I'm the administrator who oversees all non-instructional aspects of the school.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Blakeney. Ms. Torres?
Hi, everybody. Veronica Torres. I'm one of the assistant principals at Truesdale. I work alongside Principal Foster in AP branch.
Great. And then I see Mr. Vaughn.
Hi there, everybody. Mr. Vaughn. Currently 4th grade math teacher, formerly 2nd grade math teacher, as Ms. Furry shared. I also am a member of the FTO, one of the, I guess, founding teacher liaisons on the board.
Right.
And I think, did I forget anybody? Anybody want?
And then over to Zach Israel, who just joined, that Jamie Barden was just replacing as the ANC commissioner covering in the catchment, and that includes Truesdale.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Zach Israel here. I'm the new ANC for Single Member District 4D04, which includes all of Truesdale. So great to meet you all, and I look forward to working with the Truesdale community over the next 2 years.
Great, thank you. Did I forget anybody? Is anyone? I think I got everyone. So Chris, I'm going to hand it back over to you to facilitate the meeting. Please ignore this first slide that says January 2020. That's not, I mean, you should say.
Oh my gosh, Jane didn't even change the year there. Well,
it just feels like the same year. It just feels like the same year.
Exactly. We're not out yet. Look, welcome everyone. I have an agenda up here of the multiple things we'd like to cover today. As you know, the FTO general meeting meets every month, first Monday of the month, and here we are, first Monday of the new year. We do hope that 2020 is behind us with all the hindsight that brought, and but it actually, like we're joking, remains to be seen how much better it gets. I do want to just first start by recognizing last week we really struggled through in DC and bore witness to like a dark moment in our city's and our entire country's history. We're all working and living around here where we raise our children, and we know everybody out there, including each of you on this call, have a lot of feelings both in yourself and that you're managing in your families. And we hope this space of connecting with others in your community offers some help. I know I'm always inspired by how our community continues to come together, and on behalf of our student and our families, and thinking about this not only as a crisis to get through, but as a teachable moment. So while it may be hard to focus on a few things, other items, we have a few things today as we circle up for this FTO meeting. And this is great attendance also, I want to say off the cuff, so really happy everyone can be here, both parents and teachers. First of all, especially as the treasurer, I wanted to give a quick budget update. Our fall, sorry?
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry,
can I
Ms.
just
Raimundi, you
explain
should go
You're
ahead.
forgetting about me.
I won't forget. Go ahead.
So
I
can you
promise.
go back so I can explain the agenda for the night?
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't even explain it, so you just do it on my behalf. That'll be great.
Ok, ok. Bueno, la agenda que se tiene para esta noche es dar la bienvenida a todas las personas que están presentes y la introducción de los padres y los miembros del staff que están presentes en la reunión de esta noche. Uno de los temas que se va a tocar es los gastos que se han tenido y las actividades para colectar dinero. Se va a hacer un recuento de ello. También se va a hablar sobre la actualización de lo que está haciendo ahora mismo la Organización de Padres y Maestros. Luego se va a hablar un poquito de los eventos que se van a dar en el futuro y recordatorios de estos eventos. Luego va a haber una sección de preguntas y respuestas acerca de la discusión de reopen, de regresar a la escuela. Y luego se va a tocar cualquier otro tema que se tenga en el momento que las personas quieran discutir.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ms. Raimundi. A quick budget update. We did have the best fundraising year of two. The Giving Tuesday and rest of the fall fundraiser brought in over $2,000, which will be split between the multiple FTO activities, which include student needs, events, and bringing the community together, which you see on there as Frosty Fest, the holiday community building activity. And these FTO meetings, when we are able to gather and have pizza in person, these are what our budget goes towards. We also had a few expenditures in those lines, not only the Frosty Fest, but the groceries and clothing cards for children in need identified by the school's Swell team, and some resources towards improving virtual learning experience for kids that did not have internet connections, although by now I believe the city has picked up with free SIM card, cellular modems and or connections for everybody. Over to you, Ms. Raimundi.
Ya, bueno, con relación a los gastos y al revenue que queda, tuvieron una gran acogida en cuanto a colectar fondos, con el que se conoce como el martes de dar, el Giving Tuesday. Ahí colectaron sobre $2,000. Al igual tuvieron también gastos, como por ejemplo en la actividad del Frosty Fest. Ahí gastaron 300 y tanto de dólares en lo que estaban donando y en la decoración y en todos los gastos que hubo para esa actividad. Luego también contribuyeron con $1,850 comprando alimentos y ropa para los estudiantes y familias de la escuela, y también contribuyeron con $200 para comprar devices, tecnología para los estudiantes en este momento que se está estudiando virtual. Pero el balance que queda es de $3,261.
So we were on track to go into next academic year with about $3,000 in the account, which is roughly what we started last year with, our first year with the budget.
Y en este momento, como les dije, el balance queda de 3,261, so tenemos un buen comienzo de año con un buen balance.
We have a number of updates for you. First of all, the Frosty Fest, which you saw advertised on the FTO Instagram, and the school preparing for the outdoor parade and gingerbread kit holiday party, was a big hit. We had a number of families participating. It went along with a toy drive, which was a service opportunity for families to drop off toys for needy families to receive on Christmas, that was managed out of Moreland's Tavern. Fader, Martha, can you have anything to add about those two things?
Just want to echo that it was a huge success. We had a ton of people show up to the event, which was just really nice to see folks socially distant and masked, of course, enjoying the playground and safely connecting, because we miss everyone. And then the toy drive, we didn't expect to get much this year because everyone has competing priorities, even more so this year. And we were really blown away. Not only was the quantity of toys higher than it's been the last 2 years, but the quality was also really high. So we were able to provide toys for, we don't have an exact number, I apologize. It was almost 100 toys that were able to go to students that either their families had requested some support at the time and felt comfortable enough to ask the school for that support, and also students that had made attendance gains and were earning incentives for attendance as well. So especially in spite of everything that was happening, it was really a successful event. And we are very, very thankful for that. The community really showed up.
Bueno, una de las cosas que ellos quieren recalcar es que tanto el Frosty Fest como la recolecta que hicieron de juguetes fue un suceso total, fue súper exitosa. No esperaban recoger sobre 100 y tanto de juguetes para repartir a los niños de la escuela, como igual el festival de Frosty Fest, que fue un viernes en la tarde. Fue también exitoso porque hubo una participación numerosa tanto de padres como del staff de la escuela. Y felicidades por eso.
And while we're on the subject of coming out of the season of giving, we did want to remind everyone the school's Swell team is still working to address student needs. We have an Amazon wish list that the FTO has set up, which purchases the things the school has identified for the needy families and has them delivered directly to the school for distribution there for a direct charity opportunity. I just popped the link in the little doobly-doo chat box on Teams there. It's also on the FTO website. And we've also been working more with Ward 4 Mutual Aid. You may be familiar, it's a community of volunteers in our neighborhood that connects, in short, people who have things with people who don't, either donating time or also things to help in these tough times.
Dos cosas que el enlace se está poniendo en la parte del chat es la colecta que se tiene para los estudiantes a través del grupo de la escuela de Swell, que hay una lista en Amazon donde se nos informa qué son los artículos que se necesitan, o nosotros ponemos los artículos que se necesitan, que nosotros vemos que los estudiantes necesitan, y ahí se va escribiendo y se va añadiendo la lista para comprar. E igual hay una organización de voluntarios que está cerca de la escuela que se conoce como Ayuda Mutua del Distrito 4 y también van a poner el enlace en la parte del chat, cosa de que las personas que estén interesadas puedan buscar la información ahí.
Chris, if you don't mind, I'm just going to interrupt to say that I know we're all trying to avoid Amazon, or many of us probably are, but if you do shop at Amazon, please try and shop at Amazon Smile. If you shop at Amazon Smile, it'll ask you what charity you want to contribute to, and the FTO is on Amazon Smile, so you can just look up the Truesdale Family Teacher Organization, and a percentage, very small percentage, unfortunately, but a the percentage nonetheless, will come back to Truesdale.
Oh, esto es muy interesante. Para las personas que están comprando a través de Amazon, hay una sección de Amazon que se llama Amazon Smiles. Yo desconocía eso. Gracias. Thank you for letting me know. Y si ustedes compran a través de Amazon Small, esto contribuye. Lo que ustedes compran, el monto de lo que ustedes compran, una parte se va a organizaciones que no son non-profit, como el FTO, y entonces se va una porción de lo que ustedes compran a esa organización, y el FTO de Truesdale está bajo Amazon Smile. So traten de comprar ahí, cosa de que parte de lo que ustedes gasten se regrese a Truesdale y lo podamos seguir usando.
That's right. And next, this isn't really a tangible thing, but we did want to take a moment to pause here in this meeting and recognize all the hard work that the teachers have put into new lesson planning, managing plans for virtual learning, and then again for managing plans for the school to return, along with the administration. Your teachers and staff have been working incredibly hard. A number of us in the FTO have seen this in action, and they truly are a dedicated squad of super heroic folks, dedicating time both in class and one-on-one for our kids to be supported in learning. So thank you here, and families out there, please try and find a way to tell them you guys are amazing. We have at least one idea later on for Friendship Day we'll talk about in the next slide.
Okay, y algo que el FTO, la organización de FTO, quiere reconocer es a todos los maestros, les quiere dar las gracias por toda la planificación que están teniendo para las clases virtuales, tanto la planificación que están teniendo con los estudiantes de uno en uno y todo el éxito que están teniendo, y sobre todo tratando de ayudar a que los estudiantes aprendan en esta forma virtual. Muchísimas gracias a todos los maestros.
And on the soccer field, it's expected to start construction this week behind the school. What we've all been waiting for is going to be a natural grass field. Yes, it's been a while coming, but we know the students will love it so much. Will we all? Because it's a natural grass field, we do need the community and everyone in the school to help support us in ensuring no dogs are using the field. And for the first 4 to 6 weeks, let's say 6 weeks through March, up to March, we can't have people using the field at all. They're using new sod, and the new grass needs time to settle. The field wouldn't be, Mr. Raimundi, do you want to take it? No.
Well, en estos momentos, en esta semana, se va a comenzar la construcción del campo de soccer, que lo van a hacer con grama natural. No es nada artificial, grama natural. Entonces, no se, por favor, las personas de la comunidad no lleven sus perros a hacer sus necesidades en el nuevo parque, porque pues ya les estoy diciendo, la grama es grama natural y no queremos pues que nada de eso se pierda.
And the soccer field itself would not have been possible with advocacy from parents and families like you out there going down to DC budget hearings and others, sending emails, as well as the tireless support of DC Scores, that ever-present organization that helps out with Truesdale and multiple things.
Y una de las cosas, una de todas las organizaciones también que ayudó a contribuir a lo que se hiciera lo del campo de soccer es actividades como DC Scores y la colaboración que tuvieron con FTO. También veo que se va a hablar del mural y del jardín de la escuela.
And for everyone's information, DC Scores is also currently got a number of other things cooking. A mural we're hoping to do as a competition actually between artists to see who can paint and help inspire the design of a new mural on the trailers between the playground and the soccer field. So look for more information on that. We're also looking to work with teachers and staff to support a school garden in front of the school. Big garden boxes are already been being put out there, and looking forward to that when the weather gets nicer.
Chris, Sorry,
I'm sorry,
go ahead,
Miss-
Mr. Remedy, and then I'll interrupt.
Okay. You want me to go first?
Yeah, please.
Ok, una de las cosas que va a hacer This is Commerce también en colaboración con el FTO de Truesdale es un mural que lo van a hacer entre los trailers que están detrás de la escuela, y también en colaboración con los maestros de la escuela se quiere hacer un jardín para la escuela, para el embellecimiento de la escuela.
Go ahead, Fadia.
I just wanted to add that the mural project that we're looking into with DC Scores will actually be a competition with students at Truesdale, and then they have a muralist who can take student art and actually like make it like an actual mural. And so we're hoping to work with our art teacher to kind of put this competition out and see if we can get some student art that will cover the trailer between the playground and the field.
Una de las cosas con relación al mural es que va a ser una competencia entre los estudiantes de Truesdale. Y se va a trabajar en colaboración con el maestro de arte. Eso es una de las cosas bonitas que se va a hacer. Y el mural va a cubrir todo el trailer que está en la parte de atrás de la escuela.
And the playground is ready and has been seeing great use over the past number of weeks since it opened last fall, as everyone knows. The access plan is to include weekend and holiday access for the community. This is not just a space for the school alone to be locked on the weekends, but something that all families in the community can use at all times. So there has been permission granted from Truesdale Principal Foster for making those community access arrangements. I received the keys actually myself over the weekend, and we have a plan in place for community volunteers to be locking and unlocking the playground for the weekends and holidays. We'll send around a call for volunteers. We have a good start actually, but please look for those in the coming months and seasons to take a turn at providing that community access so all of our kids can continue to play there on the weekends. And thanks to outgoing ANC Jamie Barden and incoming Zach Israel for helping carry that collaboration with the community on.
Bueno, y con relación al parque de recreo, se ha estado usando durante la semana y ya se obtuvo permiso para que los fines de semana y los días feriados la comunidad también pueda utilizar el parque de recreos. Y Chris ya recibió la llave de la directora Foster, so él va a ver cuántos voluntarios en la comunidad se unen a la organización para poder también abrir y tener control del parque de recreo. So, eso es algo que ya viene en los próximos días.
I mean, look, honestly, we know people are still coming in through the chain link fence and the gap there at the gates anyway, even when the gates aren't open. But the plan is to have the gate lock be opened as well on the weekend. That'll incentivize using the right gate for coming in and having people not go out on the new soccer field, hopefully. And the school and city officials are looking into fixing the problem with the gate swinging open enough for people to come in so that access truly can be controlled and we keep the grounds clean and free of things that we have to take care of or clean up.
Ok, y una de las cosas que en estos momentos la gente se está colando porque hay una grieta por el gate, y eso es algo que se va a evitar teniendo voluntarios que puedan abrir el gate y le puedan dar acceso completo a las personas, y así evitan meterse por el campo de soccer, que en estos momentos, en esta semana van a comenzar a prepararlo y no es bueno que la gente lo ande pisando, y también que lleve a sus perros a hacer sus necesidades ahí, todo eso se va a mantener bajo control a la vez que ya se tenga llave y una seguridad más completa para el parque de recreos y el soccer field.
All right, actually, I want to start up the presentation again. Are there questions on those updates or even the last budget slide or other things before I go on?
Chris preguntó que si habían preguntas, pero por el momento.
Thank you.
What?
Go ahead.
I have a quick question. I missed the details about this, the soccer field. Our children are not supposed to be on that right now.
So
Until
the
about
soccer
March.
field,
Go ahead.
sorry, the soccer field is going to be redone. You probably have seen that it's actually not a great field right now. And so last year, or now I guess 2 years ago, when we advocated for a new playground, we also advocated for a new field and an elevator to be put into our building, as our building is currently not ADA compliant. Ms. Raimundi, I'll let you say that first.
Bueno, en estos momentos el soccer field, el prado del soccer se va a remodelar. So, por estos momentos no se va a utilizar. Cuando la escuela, el FTO, estaba abogando para que se hiciera lo del parque de recreos, también ellos abogaron por el que se rehiciera otra vez o se remodelara otra vez el parque de soccer, y también la construcción de elevadores en la escuela, porque la escuela no está con las especificaciones del ADA.
And so the soccer field is actually, we're getting a bit of a grant to help support the soccer field from the Ripken Foundation, and that was a partnership in collaboration with the DC Scores as well as DCPS, and of course our Principal Foster and just the FTO advocacy really helped push that forward. So there was some contracting issues that they were trying to sort out in December, and we understand that construction on the field should start taking place this week. It will be, like, as Chris mentioned, it will be a sod field, or we'll put down sod for a natural grass field. And so we will need to ensure that if you see any community members that are on the field, to not be on it as much as possible as while the sod is taking ground. But also no dogs. That's been a big challenge at Truesdale right now. Right now we care less, but we're going to care a lot once the new field is in.
Una de las cosas que Miss Pareja está diciendo es que por favor en estos momentos la construcción va a comenzar para otra vez habilitar el parque de soccer, y se va a echar semillas y se va a echar tierra y demás, y no se van a permitir a personas y sobre todo perros. En estos momentos pues no es tan importante, pero ya a la vez que el parque esté terminado, sí, ya no se van a permitir perros. Pues porque van a destruir lo bonito de la grama natural del parque.
Does that sound good? Other questions? We have up here a few reminders as well. First of all, don't forget about this DCPS Parent University. There's a number of videos and different resources up there for using Microsoft Teams and the other virtual learning platforms, Canvas, Lexia, and whatnot. It really is a must-read resource. We did hear from the school that the teachers have been noticing caregivers and nannies in particular actually have been interrupting lessons, asking for teachers for support, like during the classes, for example. And like IT tech support isn't the goal of the class during class time, and getting that support from the teachers is not as helpful as resources like Parent University about how to use those. So to tell other parents, tell caregivers, nannies about this, and pass it on.
Okay. Uno de los recordatorios que se quiere hacer es que DCPS tiene la Universidad de Padres, y el enlace lo van a poner en la parte del chat, pero una de las cosas que se está viendo es que algunas babysitters o personas que cuidan a los niños interrumpen la clase pidiendo ayuda con la tecnología, y ese no es el propósito de la clase. So, por favor, que se riegue la voz, que ese no es el propósito, ese no es el momento en que deben pedir la ayuda.
And look, I recognize everybody's already on Teams here anyway. It's probably not us, but you know, whatever. It's an interesting fact. So we also have had at least some parents reach out and offer grant writing skills. I'd like to circle up next within the next week or two, look for an email on that, and email me in the next couple days if you would like to join and help out with grant writing, fundraising for Truesdale School Needs through the FTO, and haven't already thrown your name in.
Otra de las cosas, otro de los recordatorios es que se andan buscando voluntarios que quieran ayudar escribiendo propuestas, abogando por las necesidades de la escuela Truesdale. So, el que esté interesado, por favor, que escriban su nombre en el chat y entonces Chris toma la información. Pero se andan buscando voluntarios, personas que quieran ayudar en la escritura de propuestas.
Don't forget about our daily class play dates on the new playground. Not only should the playground be used, but I know a lot of families have been wanting to connect more with other families in the community, which is, of course, great. I know the neighborhood is the main way where we've been getting most of our social time, going very far. So here are the socially distant play dates schedules. ECE in kindergarten so every day from 3:30 to 5 p.m. with classes of ECE and kinder coming on Monday, Tuesdays, 1st and 2nd grade, Wednesdays, 3rd, 4th grade, Thursday, 5th grade. Go out there, see your classmates, meet the teacher. Participation may vary, but I know teachers have showed up as well, and to the amazing enthusiasm of at least our kids. Some pre-K kids didn't even meet their teachers in person until this. So please do join.
Ya, una de las cosas es que, por favor, no se olviden que todavía se siguen reuniendo los niños de la escuela de Truesdale por sus grados en el parque de recreo para socializar todos los días. Por ejemplo, los lunes es de pique 3 hasta kindergarten y todos los días es de 3:30 a 5 de la tarde. Los martes le corresponde 1º y 2º grado, los miércoles le corresponde 3º y 4º grado y los jueves es 5º grado. So, por favor, sigan participando. Las reglas es que usen mascarilla, que mantengan la distancia mientras están en el parque y que usen una ropa de color violeta, cosa de que se puedan distinguir que son estudiantes de la escuela.
We'd like to move to the open discussion soon of the reopening, but two brief things. There is a Wednesday town hall held by DCPS at 5 p.m. You have information on that in your email to explain the reopening plans, which we'll also talk about today shortly. And then this is next month, but speaking of thanking the teachers, coming to Friendship Day, February 14th, or Valentine's Day, we're looking to send teachers Valentines from students. We'll have a sign-up sheet and an email to coordinate that effort, have you and your kids and as many families as we can making those cards generally and sending them in generally, although you should also feel free to do something for your own teacher specifically. Maybe even purchase some candy and figure out a way with the administration and ensure that all the teachers and staff receive those in one distribution on Valentine's Day.
Dos eventos más, aparte del parque de recreo, es que en esta semana se va a hacer...
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to remember? Go ahead.
Que en esta semana se va a hacer una reunión en la alcaldía con relación al regreso a la escuela. Va a ser este miércoles a las 5 de la tarde. Y otra actividad que viene pronto es el Día de la Amistad, que es febrero 14, y el tema va a ser maestros, los queremos. Y se están tratando de buscar por lo menos voluntarios que ayuden a hacer 100 tarjetas de Valentine's o del Día de la Amistad para los maestros. Y por favor va a haber una hoja para firmar para donde se va a poner el email cosa de que los voluntarios ahí se firmen y Chris pueda tenerlos y se conecte con ellos para ver cómo van a hacer el evento. Él está pensando también en comprar quizás dulces o ciertas cosas, a ver cómo se le hace llegar esto a los maestros, pero primero pues tienen que organizarlo con la administración de la escuela.
Wonderful. Thanks, Ms. Ferramundi. This has been so helpful to have you here, man, every month. Thanks again.
Oh, no problem.
Now I'll turn over to Faria, who's been on the reopening task force, to give a few of the updates from the school on what term 3 reopening might look like, because everyone knows there's a lot still in the air. Only record-breaking COVID days the past few weeks, but wanted to take the final 15 minutes to have a discussion and give families a chance to raise questions and thoughts on that.
Thanks,
Okay,
Chris.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ahora va a hablar Miss Fareja acerca. Ella está en el board, en el comité de la escuela que se organizó para este tercer término que se piensa ya traer estudiantes a la escuela, y ella nos va a hablar de todas las actividades que se han hecho para lograr esto.
Great, thanks, Chris. You could stop sharing your screen now if you don't mind, so I can see folks. Did most people receive or read the letter from Principal Foster back in December about the plan for term 3? Did everyone get to read that?
Miss Farley está preguntando que si ustedes recibieron la carta que mandó la Principal Foster por diciembre con relación al regreso de la escuela en el término 3.
Okay, just to summarize, and I'm glad Ms. Torres and Mr. Vaughn and others are here who served on the Reopen Corps with me, and I also serve on the local school advisory team, also known as the LSAT for Truesdale. So we had multiple meetings in December as a Reopen Corps group that included teachers, staff, the administration.
Miss Fareja le está dando las gracias también a Miss Torres, a Mr. Blacken y a Mr. Vaughn, que ellos son parte del comité de la escuela para el reopening de el término 3.
And the purpose of these meetings was to help support and help inform Miss Principal Foster's, thoughts and make a proposal to DCPS for reopening for term 3.
Personas de este comité también incluían maestros, estudiantes y padres de los estudiantes de la escuela, y ellos estaban poniendo ideas para dárselas a la Principal Foster para ver cómo podían ayudar o ideas para cómo implementar lo de la apertura del término 3, el regreso a la escuela.
After reviewing multiple different models and speaking to us and weighing the pros and cons and thinking through a wide variety of different scenarios, in summary, what's being proposed at Truesdale is that any student who would like to attend school would get to attend school at least 2 days a week. And so if you had a student that went to school Monday, Tuesday, you would then that same student would then be virtual Thursday, Friday, with Wednesday being an asynchronous day.
Okay, y el comité, después de haber estudiado diferentes formas y después de haber platicado y haber visto qué es lo mejor para los estudiantes de Truesdale, lo que están recomendando es que los estudiantes vayan 2 días a la escuela y el resto del resto de la semana va a ser virtual, con el miércoles, que es el día de educación sincronizada, o sea, de educación independiente, como se está haciendo en el momento.
So that's literally in summary, as short as possible, the plan. Obviously COVID numbers have not gone down, but there is an agreement, with DCPS and the teachers union, et cetera. So I just want to open it up to see if any parents have concerns, questions. Again, the admin team is also here, so they can feed questions back just as I can to Principal Foster. But I am curious if parents had questions. I see a hand raised, and this is, who is this? Sorry,
Eric,
Mark.
and then more.
Yeah, how about Eric and then Mark? Eric, can you hear us? Okay, I'm going to switch to Mark while hopefully maybe we can get Eric back. Mark, can you hear me?
I think Eric's unmuted now.
Oh,
No?
go ahead, Mark. We'll have Eric come back after.
I'll go later.
Sure. So my question was, in reading the principal's letter from December, it doesn't mention anything about sort of cases being the metric by which this plan goes away. So is it your understanding that sort of not regardless of the amount of cases, but under the current case situation, this 2-day model for every student is still what's being put forward?
To the best of my knowledge, oh, sorry, go ahead, Ms. Raimundi, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Bueno, una de las preguntas que hizo uno de los papás es que él leyó la carta que la Principal Foster mandó en diciembre y él quiere estar seguro que esa carta tocaba el tema de los casos de COVID que están existentes o que si este plan está basado también en eso. El plan que se está considerando de 2 días de clase en persona y el resto virtual, que si todos los casos de COVID existentes en este momento se han tomado en consideración.
To the best of my knowledge, and I think the only way this would change is if DCPS Central kind of decided that schools can't reopen for some reason. But our school, as well as, I mean, I'll speak for our school. Our school has gone through a lot of planning for trying to get as many students back as possible. Principal Foster has also avoided a ranking system. So she didn't, we tried to avoid having just students with the greatest need come back or have other criteria. She really believes that all students need to come back to school because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I need my kids out of my house. So, she really was trying to figure out a way to staff appropriately so she can get all students back in at least partially. And to the best of my knowledge, that is still the plan as of February 1st. Ms. Torres or
across all grades as well, right? I mean,
yes.
Great.
Ok, so la contestación es que sí, que el plan es que los niños regresen 2 días a la semana y el resto de la semana va a ser virtual con los maestros jueves y viernes y el miércoles educación sincronizada, o sea, independientemente. Y la Principal Foster evitó el ranqueo, no se va a dar prioridad a nadie, sino que todo el niño que esté, o sea, que todo el papá que esté interesado en enviar al niño a la escuela lo puede hacer. No es dándole prioridad a nadie por ningún tipo de rango que tenga o por prioridad de educación especial y demás. Si quieren mandar al niño a la escuela, bienvenido.
Hi,
Eric?
everybody. Just wanted to confirm
Go ahead, Ms.
along
Torres.
with Ms. Ahmed. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, that is still our plan, just as Principal Foster had shared previously.
Yeah. Y confirma Miss Torres, que es una de las asistentes de la Principal Foster, que sí, que ese es el plan y ese es el plan que sigue en pie.
Eric?
Thanks. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. Sorry about that before. What does the online learning look like in the 2 days that the kids will be learning from home? Is it still the same classroom teacher teaching them online and that classroom teacher is also teaching live in the classroom, or I'm just kind of curious how that's going to work.
Ok. El papá está preguntando que cómo va a ser la metodología de enseñanza, que si el mismo maestro que está dando la clase los 2 días en la semana que el niño va en persona, el mismo maestro es que luego va a dar la misma clase virtual. Entonces él quiere clarificación al respecto.
Thanks, Eric. That's a good question. My understanding is, and Mr. Vaughn or Ms. Torres, please jump in, but my understanding is that the teachers would be teaching the in-person students as well as the virtual students at the same time.
Yes, Ms. Torres?
Hi, Ms. Ahmed. Yeah, correct. So the idea is that our teachers will be working with the students who are in person and also with the students who are home. So DCPS is calling that a combined model of teaching. And what that means is, for example, if your student has in-person learning on Monday and Tuesday, we went through we went through the student rosters, and parents will be receiving a letter as well as a phone call from the school. The letter will designate whether your student has been assigned to a in-person learning for Monday, Tuesday, or for Thursday, Friday. And that will then determine the days that you have been assigned, and then you will then be able to accept that seat. We also did a lot of work around making sure that students from the same household are able to come on the same days, as opposed to siblings who are assigned to different days. So we went through actually and looked through all of the different household members, including cousins, just to make sure that sometimes we do know that families come to school together. So that was something that was a priority for us as well, not just siblings, but family members who live in the same household. So then on that Monday and Tuesday, when students are in person, the students who are home on those days will be joining in a live format to that same classroom with the same teacher. So it wouldn't be a different teacher, it will still be their own teacher.
But it's not going to be geared specifically to online learning, though. It'll be more geared to in-person learning, and then the kids online will just be kind of following along on the computer.
Yeah, this teachers will have different tools that they'll have in the classroom. For example, they'll have their computers. They will also have the projector. So all of the students, just like a teacher normally sees their kids on their camera on their computer, they'll be able to still see the kids that are home. So that will still be, I think the experience will be pretty similar because the teacher will have students in front of them, but they will also be teaching the kids who are joining in the live format from their house. And another thing that we also thought about is that we do have, for example, we have support teachers at school. Some of them might be SPED teachers or ELL teachers who also work with our gen ed teachers, who will be collaborating and co-teaching in the classroom setting.
Okay. Sorry, just lots of questions here. So
wait, could we let Ms. Raimundi translate real quick?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, if Ms. Torres wants to translate whatever she said. No?
Take it away, Ms. Raimundi.
Okay, well, I hope I remember everything. Well, este modelo es un modelo combinado. Los estudiantes, bueno, está el maestro, y el maestro va a estar viendo a los estudiantes que están desde su casa. O sea, el maestro va a estar dándole clases a los niños que están con él en el salón, simultáneamente va a estar dando la misma clase a los niños que ellos van a estar viendo a través del proyector. En esta semana, o creo que la próxima semana, no sé, Mis Torres, si agarré las fechas bien, van a mandar las cartas donde se va a asignar si los niños van a ir en persona, o para que escojan, ¿no? Si los niños quieren regresar a la escuela o si lo van a hacer virtual. Y de ahí entonces es que se va a determinar cuántos niños el maestro va a tener con ellos en el salón y cuántos niños van a estar virtual. Pero la clase se va a dar simultáneamente. Igual que van a haber maestros, ya sea de educación especial o de lingüística, que van a ayudar a los maestros en la clase.
And,
So I
okay,
think I got everything.
One last follow-up question. So when you're online Are the students expected to be online on the computer for the whole day, 8 hours or 9 hours? Because I would say like our experience right now with Teddy and in pre-K 4 has been the hour to hour and a half is the I would say appropriate amount of time. I don't want him to spend 8 hours in front of a computer every day. And so I'm just kind of wondering how that's going to work in terms of the online expectations for kids for those 2 days.
Ok, otra pregunta que tiene el papá es con relación al horario, que si los niños cuando regresen en el término 3, que si los niños se pretende, ¿no? De que los niños estén las 8 horas frente a la computadora, porque en estos momentos el niño de él que está en PQ4 está hora y media frente a la computadora y él siente que eso es tiempo suficiente para que el niño esté en la computadora, ¿no? Él no quisiera que su niño estuviese expuesto 8 horas frente a su computadora si a él le corresponde estar en su casa. So, ¿cómo lo van a distribuir el tiempo que los niños van a estar virtual?
I'm sorry, and then one other related question. And then what's like the in-person day schedule like? Is it like the normal 8:30 to 4:30 or is it a different schedule?
Igual él quiere saber cuál es el horario de los niños que van a ir en persona, si es el mismo horario de 8:30 a 4:30 o si el horario va a ser variado con esto de la combinación que hay en persona y virtual.
So I'll address the last question first in terms of the hours. So the hours will be like that of a regular school day for the students who are in person. So that means that entry into the school is 8:15 to 8:40. Students will then have breakfast at school just like they normally have. Previously, we have been an extended day school. We're no longer an extended day. So I know that families have known to have the school day be done at 4:15. The school day will be done at 3:15. Just like many other schools that are in our area. And that would be the hours for Monday, whether you're assigned to a Monday, Tuesday, or a Thursday, Friday schedule. And then Ms. Raymond, do you want to translate?
Yeah, let me get that. Okay. El horario que se va a mantener si a los niños le toca ir en persona, ya sea lunes o martes o jueves o viernes, va a ser el horario regular de 8:15 a 3:15 porque no se va a dar el horario extendido de aftercare, no se va a tener, sino se va a terminar a las 3:15 como la mayoría de las escuelas en DC. De 8:15 a 8:45 los niños comienzan a llegar a la escuela y se les va a ofrecer desayuno como en el año regular y luego pues comienzan sus clases, pero terminan a las 3:15. Now the one online.
Yeah, and now the follow-up, the second part of the question, and I believe the question was, what happens with the students who are going to be home while the other students are in school throughout the entire day of school.
Well, I think specifically for pre-K, I think, just because the kids are so different at pre-K and fifth graders, yeah.
Yeah, and I think because our schedule will be changing to that of essentially a full day of school, we will be working with the teachers to then communicate, especially for pre-K 3 and our pre-K 4 students, in terms of what that will look like for the students who are home and when those lessons happen. One aspect, for example, that pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 classes have are the naps. Students do take a nap. They'll also have the lunchtime at school. So I, just thinking ahead, that will probably depend on the schedule that the pre-K 4 and pre-K 3 classes will follow, and all of this will be communicated from your teachers to your to you, to the parents. And we also were pretty intentional about making sure that the rosters remain the same without changes to students between teachers that they might not know. So those will continue to be the same. So if your student had Mr. Carswell, for example, they'll still have Mr. Carswell on the in-person learning days and on the at-home learning days. So I think that will be helpful in terms of setting up what that particular schedule for your student should be that better meets the needs that they have.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the answers and all the work you guys are doing. Thank you.
Okay. Una de las cosas que estaba enfatizando el papá es que él está más bien preguntando para su niño que está en PK4. Y Miss Torres estaba indicando que sí, que los estudiantes van a mantener el mismo horario, pero que hay que acordarse que los niños de pique 3 y pique 4 duermen durante el día, toman una siesta, y también el horario de lunch es un poquito diferente porque es con ellos ahí en el salón. Entonces todo esto se va a hablar a través de los maestros, se va a hacer un programa que se le va a hacer llegar a los papás, y que la asignación de los estudiantes con los maestros no va a cambiar. Cada niño va a mantener el maestro que ha tenido hasta el momento.
There was one other hand raised. Jessica, is that you as Knox?
Yes, it is. I just wanted to check if the students were going to continue with their present teacher. So like Knox is with Miss Vanessa, and he's super shy. So I just worry about the transition if he has to switch to another teacher.
Yeah, I believe he will stay with, he'll be with
Awesome.
Miss Knox the whole time.
Yes.
And Ms. Torres, if I may, could I just reword Eric's question a little bit to say, given what we know of a pre-K 3 schedule or pre-K 4 schedule, a day may look like you may have your literacy lesson, for example, in the morning, but then your math lesson maybe in the afternoon, with kind of downtime in between the lunch, the nap, the centers, something like that? Is that like, just to kind of give a bit more practicality to what the schedule change might look like?
Right. It will probably look something like that because, for example, students will be coming in, having breakfast up until probably 9 a.m. And then they'll be able to join in for the beginning of the class at 9 a.m. They have a morning meeting usually, and they begin their literacy lessons. So, for example, that might be something that all of the students are doing together, those who are in person and those who are in the live at learning from home. And at the end of that lesson, for example, students might have a recess time, or they might go into their lunch time because it gets to that time. So yes, you're correct. So that change will probably look something similar to that, depending on the teacher, which I think, which is why I'm saying that particular information for your student will come from the teacher that you have already had. And they know your students as well. So I think that would be something that they'll take into account.
Ellos están hablando con relación a cómo va a tratar de ser un día en el horario de los niños que están en pique 3 y pique 4, porque ahora lo están haciendo en 1 hora, hora y media, pero cuando regresemos al término 3, eso se va a alargar a las 8 horas de escuela. Están hablando que quizás los niños que van a estar presentes en escuela presencial es de 8:15, 8:45 desayuno, mientras los niños están en la casa también desayunando, y a las 9 entonces se resume la clase, y ahí se unen tanto los niños virtual como los niños en presentes. Y ahí se da, por ejemplo, la clase de fundamentos, y todo el mundo está tomando la clase de fundamentos. Luego viene un receso, que tanto lo van a tomar los niños de la clase como los niños en la casa. Luego viene el almuerzo. O sea, todo se va a hacer en unísono, pero igual lo que ahora se hace en hora y media se va a alargar a las 8 horas de escuela, y eso lo va a determinar cada maestro en específico, que le va a mandar la información a cada padre.
Katie?
Yes, hi. When might we receive the official logistics or plans for the schedule changes and just what is expected of students or teachers? And when do we as parents have to make a decision about whether or not our children are going back?
Okay, la pregunta es que cuando la escuela piensa, o DCPS piensa enviar las cartas a los padres con el horario que se tiene para el término 3, y cuánto tiempo tienen los papás en contestar a la carta indicando sí o no en cuanto a en persona o virtual.
In terms of the letters that you will be receiving, we actually work on those today, and we stuffed the letters. Mr. Blakeney, who's also here on the call, he worked a lot with us with the operations team at school, in terms of making sure that all of our students had their assignments. So that letter will be sent home this week, and you should be probably receiving it, I'm assuming, just based on however long it takes for a mail to be delivered, probably within the next few days. And on the letter, it will state your student name. I will have the assignment for the week, and it would also have the number. So you should the way in which you can reply with your decision to accept or deny the seat. Mr. Blakeney, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the date that we want to have and hear back from families is next Friday, and I believe that should be January 22nd. But also remember that you'll be getting the letter, but you also will be receiving a phone call from the school. So we are planning on contacting our families just to have that phone call communication as well.
Ok, la carta ya se está preparando en la oficina, en la escuela, estaban trabajando en ella justo hoy, y el plan es que en esta semana ya se comienzan a enviar las cartas y eso tardará un par de días en lo que el correo hace llegar las cartas, pero también acuérdense que la escuela va a llamar a los papás para tener el contacto personal, verbal. La carta va a indicar el nombre del estudiante, la asignación que va a tener, o sea, el schedule del niño, los días que le toca en persona, los días que le toca virtual, y también la fecha donde se espera que los padres devuelvan la carta con la contestación, y se está pensando que es el próximo viernes 21 de enero. Is that the 21st?
I believe it's the 22nd.
22 de enero. Esa es la fecha en que la escuela espera tener las cartas ya de regreso.
One more thing that I can add in regards to what you'll see in the letter is also the immunization records for students. So immunization records are required for students to have on file at school, updated ones, for you to be able to accept a seat for your student. So that will also be information that will be included on the letter, and we made it for each of our students based on the records that we have at school now. So if you don't have those records updated on file, it will be checked out. It will be on the letter as well, so that you know whether we have the most updated ones or not.
Okay. Y una de las cosas que también va a incluir la carta es que necesitan los récords del estudiante. So, los récords van a estar incluidos en la carta. Yemis Torres. So, los papás.
Immunization records.
Ya, los récords de administración. So, pero esos récords son que los papás tienen que brindarlos, o que esos récords ya están ahí para que los papás los tengan como evidencia.
Los papás tienen que traer los récords más recientes que tengan, si es que no los tenemos en la escuela todavía.
Ok, los de vaccine y todo eso. Ok, y una de las cosas que va a indicar la carta son los récords, o sea, los documentos que los papás tienen que llevar a la escuela como parte del récord del estudiante, como las vacunas que estén al día, donde viven, para demostrar residencia, todo ese tipo de información. So, ahí se va a indicar todo lo que tienen que llevar a la escuela para el cupo del niño.
Mr. Monday, solamente vacunas, nada más, solamente vacunas.
Ok, eso es récord de las vacunas, perfecto. So, ese récord de las vacunas, nada de residencia, de domicilio, solamente récord de las vacunas. Aclaremos eso.
We have two more questions. How about Janie? I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm so sorry. Jenny, and then Jamie.
Yeah, it is Jenny. And I feel like this is so pre-K3 heavy, but it's going to be our kids' first time going to school. And like, there were so much talk, you know, way back at the orientations about like summer meet and greets and all of those things that I know probably just aren't that practical now. But are there any like thoughts or plans for some of the younger kids where it might be their first time or their like longest time in school, like thinking about how we can ease them into it? I just remember even seeing that like parents couldn't walk their kids to their classrooms in some of the like early versions of things. So I'm just wondering like when we might learn some of those things that might be important to know in trying to make these decisions.
Ok, una de las preguntas es otra mamá que tiene también niños en Peque 3 y ella quiere saber cómo va a ser, por ejemplo, cuando la escuela está normal, los padres van al salón y entregan a los niños y hay ese rapport de padre, niño y estudiante. ¿Cómo se va a hacer ahora? Si ya se saben si es que el niño solamente se va a dejar al frente o si el niño puede llegar con el papá al salón, o sea, cómo va a ser la logística de los primeros días de clase o de cómo los niños van a ir a la escuela, los van a entregar los papás.
Thank you for that question. Definitely. And I think a lot of that, in terms of like the details of the logistics and everything that we hope to have in place, will very much depend on the number of students who will be accepting seats in terms of coming back. So I know that that is definitely on our timeline in terms of, next steps. And I'll make sure to, Ms. Ahmed is part of the Reopen Strum Core. So she'll be part of all of, the different steps to bring back. And I'll make sure to, I'm taking down questions as well. Like any question that you're sharing with me, I'm making sure that we're writing them down because I'm sure that your questions are questions that other families will have.
Yes.
So this is valuable, of course. So I don't have an answer for everything. But just know that we are taking those questions down and we'll be bringing this back to Principal Foster as well as the Reopen Strong team and Ms. Ahmed.
Ok, para esta pregunta no hay una contestación precisa porque todo depende del número de estudiantes que acepte ir a la escuela en persona. Entonces, cuando ya se tenga el número de estudiantes, entonces ahí pues se va a hacer una reunión, administración, la escuela, el comité, para entonces ver cómo va a ser la logística en cuanto a cómo se va a hacer el recibimiento o la entrada de los niños a la escuela. Cuando se tenga la información, se les dejará saber a todos los padres.
And please feel free to email me if questions come up later today or later this week. I'm the admin team and I and the FTO meet on a monthly basis. And as Ms. Torres said, I am also part of the local school advisory team / the Reopen Core. So any questions you have, I am happy to be that amplifier in any of these meetings. So if you come up with other things or you're concerned about something, please don't hesitate. There's no ego in this. Everyone's just trying to figure out, do the best they can with this circumstance. So please just don't be shy. Jamie, please.
Acuérdense que si tienen alguna pregunta, por favor, se la dejan saber a Miss Farea por correo electrónico, lo que sea con relación a esto del comienzo de clases del término 3, porque hay muchas preguntas que todavía están en el aire porque la contestación no está concreta, pero pues mientras más información se pueda proveer, mejor todavía. Bienvenida a cualquier tipo de pregunta.
Thank you. My question is sort of related. So 2 parts. One, is there a limit to how many students can be in each class? And again, I'm asking for pre-K3 as well, and I don't know if this would apply to all the other grades, but if there is a limit and there is a scenario where not enough families choose to do in person, could the students who do want to come to school in person come 4 days a week?
Ok, esta es una pregunta de 2 partes. Por ejemplo, ¿cuál es el límite de estudiantes que se va a aceptar por salón? Y ¿qué pasaría si, y ella está preguntando en específico para Peque 3, porque su niño está en Peque 3, si no hay suficiente estudiante en el salón que hayan aceptado ir en persona, que entonces como es un cupo pequeño, que si esos niños entonces podrían ir 4 días a la semana en vez de 2.
I believe there is a cap of 11 students for in-person learning, but Ms. Torres, I'll let you answer.
Okay. Ella dice que cree que hay un... Okay, I'm sorry, Miss Torres. Miss Farias dice que ella cree que hay un límite de 11 niños por estudiante, por salón, pero que entonces Miss Torres nos va a dar aquí la contestación correcta.
Yeah, that's correct. So there is a limit of students that can be in the same classroom. For pre-K3, I believe that it's a little bit different by the different grade levels. And we also included that in the letter. So, you know, if you have students in different grade levels, you'll be able to see whether it's different. But for pre-K3, that would be, Mr. Blakeney, correct me if I'm wrong, pre-K3, that would be 8. And then for pre-K4 and kindergarten, it's 10. And then 1st through 5th, that would be 11 students who can be in the classroom.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And yeah, and in
Okay.
terms of the second question that you mentioned in regards to the other possibility, we are taking that down. Had Nad had something like that come up in terms of the conversations that we've had, but I'll make sure to bring that back to the team.
Ok, y con relación a la contestación, es un cupo limitado de estudiantes. Por ejemplo, en PQ3, PQ4 van a ser 8 estudiantes. Kindergarten son 10 estudiantes y de primer grado en adelante hasta quinto son 11 estudiantes por salón. Con respecto a la segunda parte de la pregunta, si hay pocos estudiantes, que si entonces esos estudiantes en vez de ir 2 días se pueden beneficiar yendo los 4 días, todavía eso no se ha hablado, pero es algo que se puede discutir, pero que todavía no se ha hablado nada al respecto. Por el momento son 2 días a la semana en persona.
Okay, we are well over our time. And so I don't know if anyone else has any one last question before we close this out. I do also just want to mention this as something happier to close out, or something not as complicated. It's actually very happy that our kids are going back to school, at least for me. But we are also working on a movie night with DC Scores after the field is kind of settled. It'll be socially distant. We'll have markers on the field and kind of do an outdoor community gathering. So I know it's a huge bummer for our ECE families who didn't get the pomp and fanfare of the beginning of the school year as your little ones go off to school for the first time. And so we will do our best to kind of try and do more community events like the Frosty Fest. But the movie night is something that's already being planned on the calendar. And, you know, if you have other ideas, please share. We're very open to anything that Jamie had a lot of really great ideas for. She's the inspiration for Frosty Fest. So, you know, things come up, please share and let us know how we can continue to build community, you know, within the confines of COVID-19.
Algo que Miss Faria está bien contenta y están planificándolo y es algo que viene pronto, va a ser una noche de películas que se va a hacer en el soccer field cuando ya esté terminado, y entonces esto va a ser para toda la escuela y pues ella lamenta que los niños de PQ3 y PQ4 no han tenido la experiencia de que todos los niños tienen de sus primeros días de clase, sus primeros días de escuelas, pero se va a tratar de compensar todo esto con actividades como Frosty Fest y ahora con la noche de películas para que todos los niños se conozcan y traten de sobrepasar esa etapa de que no pudieron ir a la escuela como todos los niños en situaciones normales o años normales de clase lo han podido hacer.
And a huge thank you to Ms. Raimundi for being so amazing. We, you know, our school population is 70% Hispanic, and it's very important to us that all people have a voice on the FTO and actually know what's going on at the school. And so I know it takes longer for us to go through these meetings, but it's very important to us to make sure that we're as inclusive as possible. And so, Ms. Raimundi, we cannot thank you enough for all of your effort in translating for us, even when we forget. So thank you very much. And thank you all for your time. I know it's 9:30, it's probably past many of our bedtimes. And hopefully kids are back in their cribs and not, jumping up and down. So thank you again. And I look forward to chatting with you the first week of February.
Thank you, thank you. And this is good because I keep saying the same thing I tell tomorrow to my parents. So we're both
That's right. This conversation is really important.
Yes.
Yeah, about reopening. We're glad everyone joined and had all these great questions, and keep them coming.
Yes,
if there are more.
yes, yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Good
See you
night.
next month.